Sorry to say this, but being a good person don't get you loved. It gets you used.
My dear brother, I totally understand what you're saying. But let's look at this from a different perspective. Before we decide to throw away those good qualities, let's define good. A good person is kind, but they're not gullible. A good person shows respect, but they expect it in return. A good person will lift you up, but they will not tolerate you putting them down. You see, you can have a good heart, but that doesn't mean you're passive. You see, a good person will tell someone, regardless of who they are, what they need to hear, not necessarily what they want to hear. You see, a good person, just like anyone else, has standards. They have goals and they set boundaries. And whenever you cross them, they will check you. A good person will look out for you, but they have no problem saying no. A good person has patience, but that doesn't mean they're going to let you take their kindness for weakness. So just because a person is good, that doesn't mean they're going to put up with nonsense. I love you, brother. Believe that.
Good OG advice, as I should say. A lot of times we as people, we tend to get caught up in all the trauma that people had, that people placed on us. And, you know, I went through it myself. I still go through it. I told myself a long time ago, I'm gonna stop helping people in entertainment, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt like every time I help people in entertainment, I end up getting burnt. But you can't, you know, but here's the good thing about that though. When you start to realize that, especially when you're called to help people, because I feel like everybody is really called to help folks. I mean, what, you know, you can't get to where you at without help. So who are you not to give that same type of service back? But some people know that it's in them no matter what. And when you're that type of person, when you know it's deeply embedded in you and instilled in you, you know, you gotta make sure that you don't allow that type of dark energy to take over your mindset, because there's nothing worse than allowing somebody to trick you out of your position. There's nothing worse than that. So instead of me helping people in my lane, I decided to say, you know what, I'm gonna help homeless people, or I'm gonna help children and women and single mothers only. The other day, I seen a single mother. She was sitting with her daughter, and she had a bill, and it was pretty big, and she was looking at it, and I'm like, I was sitting with my son, I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get that. She was looking all crazy. I said, I don't want nothing from you. I grabbed it and I paid for it. Those little things like that. Sometimes you gotta go out the way and pretty much invest your energy into people, into other categories, other people. Don't focus on the ones that are tricking you out of your position, that's causing you to have this type of dark mentality, because that's not what it's all about. So that's dope, man. You know what I'm saying? You can tell the young brother, he's been hurt before. We've all said it. We've all heard people say that, you know. We see a lot of nice people, good people get taken for granted. And that ain't what the lick is, you know what I mean? That ain't really what it is. So you gotta be careful about where you distribute your energy, and always return back to what the mission is, and the mission is to help. So if you are helping in certain areas and certain categories and it's not working out for you, you got to make sure that you redistribute that somewhere else where you are appreciated, where you appreciate it, or your help is appreciated, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow somebody to trick you out of your position. Always stay focused on your mission. That's it. Don't allow somebody to trick you out of your position, and always stay focused on your mission. I feel like this. I feel like if I'm not fulfilling my mission, I feel like at any given moment, God can take it all away, or He can take me away. You know what I'm saying? You are here to service, and when you find out what you're here to service for, you got to make sure you stay on that. You got to stay consistent with it, because the moment you fall off the grid, we're all vessels that God uses, and God does not use dead things to get His point across. He uses all living things, whether it's the tree, whether basically a lot of things with heartbeats. You know, the moment He can't use these when you're gone. Period. So you may look at someone and say, "Oh man, they're a piece of shit." What do they really bring to the table as far as life? You don't know what that person brings. They might be the most incompetent person in the world. But in the same, in the same sentence, you can't You can't go based off of your judgment on how you feel about that person. Don't think that they don't add to the universe. They don't add to the ecosystem. You never know what God will use the people for, period. So, what y'all think about this?